Now, what can you get for 65p nowadays? Well, an annual spending review shows that that is what the royal family is costing every taxpayer. It certainly was last year. Well, Grant Harold is a former butler to the Prince of Wales, and he joins us now. Grant, you must have some stories to tell, haven't you? Former butler?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, the thing is, I've felt very privileged to have worked for the royal family for a number of years, with many wonderful memories, and of course got to experience what it was like to be with them and to travel with them and to see the kind of work that they undertake.
And you must have seen the incredible lifestyle that they lead, the extravagance, the amount of money lavished on them.
The reality is, I mean, I think that's one side that people think, but the reality is they're extremely hard working. It's not as glamorous as people think because, again, you see the kind of grueling schedules, the long hours, and also what they mean to people when you actually see them actually meet members of the public, whether it's at hospitals or at their charities or even just people that are in the street. The joy and excitement they bring, I always say that's priceless when you see the reaction from people. And again, I've even seen grown men cry when the Queen walks past them at the excitement of actually seeing the Queen.
So 65p is sort of framed in a way it doesn't sound like much, but it amounts to 57 million. Is it, now we hear so much about austerity, is this money well spent?
Personally, of course it's personal, I think it is, because again, 65p, as you say, it's per person, obviously over the year, and my argument is, you can't even buy a bar of chocolate for that kind of money. Again, as it's been said, it's the price of a first-class stamp. So it's not, for a single person, it's obviously not a lot of money, but of course when you add it up, it is more. But again, the reality is it's nothing when you consider that they bring in 500 million for the tourist industry. I mean, that's what it's been said that the royal family can generate through the visitors that come to see the properties and things. So it's quite a small amount when you consider from that point of view what they bring in.
You've seen a lot of this firsthand, as you say. Apparently, the Prince of Wales spent £18,000 on a train journey to Devon. I mean, how on earth can you spend £18,000 on a train?
The reality is today, as you kind of discover that transport isn't cheap. I mean, even to come up to London on a train can be quite expensive.
Nowhere near 18,000.
No, obviously not 18,000.
Can you break it down for us, though? What is the money being spent on?
Well, it's things like the security, which is obviously a big part of it, and again, it's the getting from A to B, it's the transport. Again, there's obviously going to be people on the plane, there'll be some staff that will travel. So it's all those kind of things that has to be kind of taken into account. And of course, as I say, it isn't obviously cheap for kind of that kind of travel, but again, it's the importance of what they're doing.
All right, well, what about this then? £1.2 million to replace some doors on the Orangery at Windsor Castle.
I think the problem with that is when you look at the kind of money that has got to be spent, what they're trying to do is when you have something like this restored, it's got to be done by obviously the correct professionals, it's got to be done to the same standard, and I do understand that can cost, and I know it's a lot of money, but it can cost a lot to have things like that done.
Do you think it's sort of easier for them to justify now when you've got this new generation of royals who are very much out there doing mental health campaigns, things like that? Does that kind of make justifying these pretty outrageous figures, some of them, easier?
I think the thing is, I think from what I understand, that the Queen obviously does keep a close eye on what is being spent and how money is spent, because I think they're all very aware that it is public money as well. But I mean, again, what you've also got to remember is that the Crown Estates, which are obviously owned by the Queen, all the profits go into the Treasury and they only get a small amount back. So again, they put a lot of money into what we've got. And again, for businesses and people got the royal warrants and that kind of thing. I mean, it brings a lot of money into the country as well.
OK, Grant, thank you very much. Are you still a butler, by the way? Not for the royals, but...
No, I now teach etiquette. I teach royal etiquette. So if you're going to meet the Queen, I'm your man to speak to.
Oh, teach us how to curtsy.
Yeah.
Well, not me. I won't be curtsying. No. Thank you very much, Grant.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Jackie, hello.
I've always wanted a butler.
You've wanted a butler? Grant, Jackie needs a butler.
I don't know how you passed it.
A cup of tea, Mrs. Beltrow.
I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. Andy Murray could have a butler, but he won't ever have a
No, he
butler.
puts the bins out himself, doesn't he?
He does his own cups of tea and bins and washing up. We'll be hearing from him. Wimbledon starts in a week's time after this.